Humans have always been captivated by the unknown, but there are some who have taken that curiosity to the extreme, reshaping themselves into something out of this planet. From intense body modifications and implants to outrageous platform heels, these individuals have stretched the limits of what it exactly means to look human. So, join us for today's video as we're going to take a look at the 15 craziest people who turn into aliens, rejecting what was given by God. Let's kick off this list with number 15, the Dragon Lady. From a normal banker to a dragon, Tiamat Legion Medusa, formerly Richard Hernandez, isn't cosplaying. This is real. A dream in the 1980s, being bitten by snakes and waking as a reptile never left them. For decades, she worked as a successful banker in Texas, hiding that identity. Then, in 1997, Tiamat tested HIV positive. Facing death, she chose transformation. If I'm going to live, I'll live as a dragon. The journey began. Back then, Tiamat already had 79 piercings, most hidden at work. But this trans lady wasn't done. Over $80,000 was spent on surgeries, tattoos, implants, and amputations. Her ears were removed, her tongue split, and reptilian horns implanted into her skull. Her son became estranged at 16, still one of Tiamat's greatest heartbreaks. Yet she continues, hoping he sees her and understands. To Tiamat, this isn't a gimmick or art project. It's about escaping conformity, living honestly, and showing the world that being different isn't failure, it's freedom. Better to live as a dragon than die pretending. Number 14, Mexican Vampire Woman. If you pictured a lawyer, Maria Jose Cristerna probably wouldn't come to mind. But long before her transformation into the vampire woman, she was a practicing attorney and mother of 4. Her journey began at 14 with a tattoo inspired by a black metal band. Years later, after escaping an abusive marriage at age 30, she marked her survival with a bold move, having 4 titanium horns implanted in her forehead. From there, the transformation accelerated. Tattoos soon covered 96% of her body. She added fang implants to complete her vampiric appearance. Altogether, she's undergone 49 major modifications, earning her a Guinness World Record in 2012 as the world's most modified woman. Her fascination with vampires started in childhood, but today, she's a living embodiment. She's been immortalized in wax by Ripley's Believe It or Not. Now she runs her own tattoo studio, fashion line, gives empowerment talks, and raises her children. Number 13, the Black Alien. For most people, turning 25 or 26 sparks career anxiety and a passing urge to quit their job and start over, maybe raise alpacas in the countryside. But in 2014, French bouncer Anthony Lafredo had a different reaction. At 26, instead of buying a motorcycle or bleaching his hair, he began reshaping his body entirely. His first move was splitting his tongue in 2, creating a reptilian fork. Things escalated fast. He tattooed his entire face, even his eyeballs, despite the danger. Ink injections between the thin eye membranes risk permanent blindness. He avoided that, but he didn't stop. By 2021, Anthony fully embodied a new identity, the Black Alien. His list of surgeries could fill a novel, but the most shocking were the amputations. His nose, ears, upper lip, and 2 fingers were removed. Silicone was inserted beneath his skin to reshape his head and arms. By 2023, he planned to amputate 1 leg for a bionic limb. As of 2025, he says he's only 65% done. Number 12, the Orc. When most people think of Lord of the Rings, they picture epic battles and magical creatures, not cosmetic surgery. But for Brazilian tattoo artist Rico Ledesma, the fantasy world sparked something deeper. After years of basic tattoos, he decided at 40 to become a real-life orc. Not the noble elf type, he went full Tolkien ogre. He blacked out all his facial ink, including his eyeballs, and surgically altered his face to mimic battle scars. He had sections of his ears, nose, and upper lip removed. Then came the tusks, 2 huge silicone fangs implanted into his mouth. And they weren't cheap. A dental specialist carefully installed them at a cost of $510. But Rico didn't do this alone. His wife, Krishna, is just as modified: tattoos, subdermal implants, and amputated ears. They're a perfect match. Together, they brought fantasy into reality. It didn't cost them millions, just pain, precision, and partnership. Their transformation proves that sometimes love looks like 2 orcs building a life, tattoo guns in hand. But this guy looks cool. Number 11. Human Satan. If you think the black alien and dragon lady are wild, meet their Brazilian counterpart, Michel Faro Prado, better known as Human Satan. A tattoo artist with over 2 decades of body modification behind him, Michel has taken transformation to brutal extremes. He didn't stop with tattoos, though 80% of his body is black ink. He removed his ears, split his tongue, sharpened his teeth, and even filed down his nose to create a sharper, inhuman profile. But his most shocking detail was the 33 metal implants that are embedded in his skull. These allow him to attach spikes, earning him a Guinness World Record in 2023 for most horn implants. He later added massive silver tusks, costing nearly $1,000. Inspired by Anthony Lafredo, Michel tattooed the black alien's face on his leg. He even fused fingers together into claw-like formations. Many of Michel's tattoos were done by his wife, Carol, aka Mueller Demonia, who's just as modified as he is. Together, they look like intergalactic sci-fi villains, and they love it. Number 10. Esperance Luminesca Fuerzina. When Maria José Cristerna lost her title in 2023 as the world's most modified woman, it went to U.S. Army veteran Esperance Luminesca Fuerzina. With 89 body modifications and nearly full-body tattoo coverage, Espiron didn't just win the title, she redefined it. Her transformation began in her 20s with a simple tattoo connected to a partner's family. That mark was soon covered by a phoenix, symbolizing her rebirth through body art. Before diving into implants, she experimented with suspension, hanging by hooks pierced through skin. In 2014, she took her first leap with a tongue split. Since then, she's added dozens of piercings, facial implants, subdermal ridges, and tattooed areas most avoid: scalp, palms, gums, tongue, and even eyeballs. In 2023, Guinness officially recognized her with 99.98% coverage. Raised in a military family, she traveled widely, even living in Japan. After retiring as a medical officer, she devoted herself to art. Today, her body is her archive, her story etched in ink and transformation. Number 9. Hannah Rose Dalton and Stephen Raj Bhaskaran. We've all worn something bold and second-guessed it the moment we stepped outside. But when you look like Rose and Raj, second thoughts aren't part of the wardrobe. This Montreal-based couple is behind the project Feel Matter. Well, that's really the name. Their entire aesthetic revolves around rejecting anything remotely human. There are no jeans or sneakers, just prosthetics, makeup, and fashion that turn them into eerie, alien-like beings. Think bald heads, elongated limbs, and their infamous skin shoes that look like mutated feet. Don't panic, they're prosthetics. The two met in 2016 at fashion school. The program was technical and rigid. Creativity was suffocated. They bonded over frustrations with the industry: child labor, chemical dyes, and toxic beauty standards. Out of that frustration, Feel Matter was born, a space to break rules, test identity, and challenge norms. What started as a rebellion evolved into fashion campaigns, art, music, and viral fame. Their look isn't a joke. For Rose and Raj, it's personal. Number 8. The Demon Dad. If you saw Ryden dos Caras waiting outside a school, you'd probably assume he walked out of a horror film, not a PTA meeting. But behind the tattoos, implants, and horns is a regular Colombian dad with an extreme passion for body modification. His journey started at just 12 with his first tattoo. By 17, he was experimenting with body mods, flesh tunnels, piercings, and more. Over time, it turned into full-blown self-expression. Today, 86% of his body is tattooed, including his eyeballs. He's had his nose reshaped, ears partially amputated, and silicone horns implanted into his forehead. He looks more alien than human. But Ryden's reality is rare. He's a husband and dad, grilling with family on weekends, coaching sports, and volunteering at animal shelters. He just happens to wear his creativity like armor. While his look may terrify strangers, he's the guy who'd stop to help you fix a flat tire. He's not a monster. He's just a heavily inked dad. Number 7. Metal Head. If you've ever feared the boogeyman hiding in your closet, give him a face, and it might look a lot like Rolf Buchholz. But Rolf isn't just a visual shock. He holds Guinness World Records for the most piercings and body modifications on Earth, and he's held them for over a decade. His journey didn't begin until 1999 when, at 40, he got his first tattoo. From there, things took off fast. He's now tattooed across nearly 90% of his body, including his eyeballs. But the ink is only part of it. Rolf's had 516 modifications in total, with 481 piercings alone. Over half of those are extremely private. Another 158 pierce his face. He's even modified his lips and brow so much he can't close his mouth fully. And with 35 implants, including silicone balls under his skin and horn-like bumps in his forehead, he looks more like sci-fi than human. For Rolf, it's love. Number 6. The Lizard Man. Most people would laugh if you claimed you had more ink than blood, but Eric Sprague might actually prove it. Known as the Lizard Man, he has spent over 700 hours transforming himself into a walking reptile. Nearly his entire body is covered in green scales. Before the change, he was a philosophy PhD student. But monsters and movies like Godzilla sparked a deeper curiosity. What does it mean to be human? In 1994, he began tattooing. By 1997, he had split his tongue, becoming the second person ever to do so. He also filed his teeth into fangs and implanted Teflon ridges into his brow, all without anesthesia. By 1996, he joined circus shows, performing stunts like fire breathing and sword swallowing. He even set a Guinness record for lifting a 35-pound keg with his ear piercing. For Eric, it's not a costume, it's a lifestyle. The split tongue, the green scales, the circus acts, it's all part of shedding skin to become something else. Number 5. Mr. Parrot Man. Ted Richards isn't just a bird lover, he's become part parrot himself. Based in Bristol, England, he's better known as Mr. Parrot Man. Ted owns 5 parrots and adores their look so much, he decided to become one. He started with tattoos across his face and head, mimicking feather patterns. Then came horn implants, to give his skull a more exotic shape. In 2015, he went even further, splitting his tongue, branding a peace symbol on his shoulder, and most extreme of all, removing his ears. Parrots don't have visible ears, so neither would he. The operation lasted 6 hours. It left him partially deaf and unable to wear glasses. His fix? Metal studs were implanted into his head to hold his specs. In total, he's had more than 110 tattoos and 50 piercings. He even legally changed his name to Ted Parrot Man. The look might be alien, but for Ted, it's pure love. His body is now part tribute, part transformation, and completely his own. Number 4. Luis Baptista's Helena. Sometimes alien transformations don't come from scalpels or tattoos, but from silicone and artistry. In 2019, a photo went viral of a woman who looked almost unrecognizable. Her nose appeared filed down, lips heavily swollen, her entire face altered. Viewers assumed a botched cosmetic surgery, but it wasn't real. It was Helena, a hyper-realistic prosthetic character crafted by London-based artist Luis Baptista. Using a 3D mold of the model's head, he designed 2 custom silicone pieces and applied them to achieve the illusion. The goal? To highlight the dangers of extreme plastic surgery obsession. And it worked. The image made waves across media. Helena wasn't meant to fool, she was meant to warn. Through exaggerated aesthetics, Baptista exposed just how far people are willing to go in pursuit of perfection. It wasn't the first time, and he wasn't alone. Across the world, other artists were also blurring the line between sci-fi and reality with prosthetic mastery. But Helena made that warning viral and unforgettable. Number 3, the space elf. Luis Padrón didn't just grow up loving elves, he became one. This Argentine fantasy fanatic was bullied growing up, but found escape in books filled with elves, sorcery, and cosmic adventures. That childhood obsession never faded. As an adult, Luis has spent over $80,000 turning himself into a space elf. His ears were surgically reshaped into pointed tips. His jaw and nose were remodeled. He even used a laser procedure to change his eye color from brown to blue, burning away the melanin without anesthesia. It left him in blinding pain for weeks. Still, he isn't done. He plans to get a facelift, muscle implants, and have a rib removed to slim his waist. This isn't cosplay, it's commitment. Luis says it's about becoming what he always felt he was. While some chase trends, he chases a dream that's cost him dearly, but means everything. Number 2, most tattooed man. I'm no different to anyone else. I bleed like everyone else. I face the same problems most people do in daily life. The only difference is, I'm heavily tattooed. Those are the words of Lucky Diamond Rich, born Gregory Paul McLaren in New Zealand, with Quandamuka and Mununjali Aboriginal heritage. A circus performer since 16, his act grew to include chainsaw juggling, sword swallowing, and unicycling. His name reflects that journey. Lucky for his daring skills, Diamond for being a rough gem, and Rich for his spirit. At 16, he got his first tattoo, a small juggling club on his hip, hidden from his mother. From there, one tattoo led to thousands. Over 1,000 hours of work covered every inch of his body, even gums, eyelids, and ear canals. With layered black, white, and color ink, he holds the Guinness record as the world's most tattooed man. Number 1, stalking cat. When Dennis Avner received a message from a Huron chief urging him to follow the ways of the tiger, he took it more literally than anyone expected. He began going by stalking cat, and by age 22 in 1980, he started reshaping himself into the feline he felt inside. It began with facial tattoos designed to mimic tiger stripes. Then came surgeries, pointed ears, a split upper lip, and a flattened nose. He had 18 piercings around his mouth to attach synthetic whiskers daily. While working as a computer programmer and part-time caregiver, he lived a parallel life, climbing trees and even eating raw meat when the mood hit. His surgeries were performed by Steve Haworth, a body mod artist, not a licensed surgeon. That meant no anesthesia. Every cut was endured. Despite his otherworldly look, Stalking Cat found acceptance in the furry community. He passed away in 2012 at 54. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you soon.